Hello, lovely, and welcome back to the Fat Joy podcast. Today's episode is part of a special capsule collection where I'm talking with brilliant fat creatives about how they bring their ideas into the world, the joy, the struggle, and the magic in between. I believe one of the ways we can all rebel against anti-fatness and diet culture is by creating tangible fat-positive offerings, projects, and art, which is why I'm so excited to tell you more about the Fat Joy Creation Lab later on in the episode. So here's to creating better fat futures. Enjoy the episode. Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to the Fat Joy Creation Lab capsule collection. It's like the longest podcast name ever. I'm so glad you're here with me. And today I have Erica Joy as my guest. Hi, Erica.
Hello, hello. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I don't know if I know where you live, but I'm in close to Toronto and we're having like major snow. So it is a snow globe outside for me right now. Where are you?
Okay. I'm currently in central Ecuador.
I mean, Erica, why would you say that to me right now?
So I am technically in like short sleeves. It is a little bit of a cloudy day today.
I'm so sad for you.
Yeah.
Ecuador, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, I've really been enjoying it. My sister and we have been traveling and pet sitting and kind of figuring out where we want to kind of stay long term. And this has been a stop on that journey. And yeah, we've really been enjoying Ecuador so far.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We're not going to go there, but I just need you to know that all I want to do right now is talk to you about house sitting and pet sitting and how that has facilitated your travel around the globe. Because that is one of my maybe 3 to 5 year dreams is to be a little bit of a digital nomad. Yes, when my stepkids are graduated and out of the house, I'm like, we could be anywhere in the world, so why wouldn't we? And I feel like we're living that life right now, and I'm so jealous and excited for you.
Yeah.
So we won't go into it, but just know I really want to.
Okay. Yes. On the list.
On the list. Amazing. Okay, Erica, why don't you tell us who you are?
Yes, hello. I am always kind of ruminating on that question. I'm a Taurus sun with an Aries rising and moon, and I feel like that's just kind of like my life journey of like, who am I?
Who am I?
Who am I? And I feel like as I grew up, I was often like, had all these characteristics placed on me and they were great. And, characteristics I'm not mad about, but it's always been like, is that who I am? And now I feel like over the last year, I've really been just settled in I am who I am. And yeah, it's ever evolving though, but I am someone who I am a community organizer in the purest of ways, I guess, in terms of I like to bring community together. I am a baker, a cook, more in the home sense, but also again, wanting to bring community into the fold with me on that journey. I'm on this podcast, so I am now really sitting with being a creative. Yeah, but I am a co-creator of a spiritual collective liberatory practice based in astrology and many passions called cosmic healing with my sister. And yeah, we have a lot of offerings, including some that I'll talk about later today. Yeah, so that's a little spice here and there. Of who I am.
I love that. A little paprika, a little salt, a little turmeric. That's where we're just spicing it. Yeah, I feel like so many people that I find really interesting are the people who are these multi-hyphenate, multi-passionate people. It's like, well, I do this and I do this and I do this and I do this. And I'm one of those too. And I definitely blame my Gemini sun.
Yes. Wow.
I've been really leaning into my Virgo rising though, learning a lot about my Virgo, which apparently we're having a big year in 2026. So I think I think what's so interesting about people who have all these like different pieces that they're interested in cultivating in their lives is that oftentimes it's that, for me at least, I'm curious what you would say, it's that feeling of not one thing and one thing only can like satisfy all the curiosity that I have for everything.
Exactly.
Do you know? Like it's so driven by curiosity.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like there have been a couple like constants in my life. Like I think cooking and baking specifically, since I was a kid, like those have been consistently passions of mine. But other things I feel like they've like truly ebbed and flowed throughout life of like, okay, like I was really into drawing and then that's kind of like taken a back seat and now it's coming back. And then like astrology was something where my sister Kay, who's the, co-creator of Cosmic Healing, that has, that's the basis kind of cosmic healing. And astrology was kind of always like in the back burner of like, who am I? But then over the last 5 years, it's been like, okay, wait, let me get into this. Like, let me actually really get into this. But yeah, no, there's just so much to do in the world. It's like, I, at this point, like would not want to just settle on like one thing as like, this is who I am, or this is what I do. And it's like, there's so much to do. There's so much time.
There is. Yeah. Well, and I really feel like curiosity and creativity go so together. Like they actually operate in a very similar part of our brain, the part of our brain called the default mode network that needs to be a little dreamy. It's the part of our brain that really gets tapped into when we are deeply present in the moment. Like activates that part. And so I'm always, because I work with a lot of creatives. I'm very lucky to be able to work with a lot of creative writers. And it's funny, I was thinking about this morning, because I'm always thinking about creativity. So the other work I do is as a corporate leadership coach. And it's so opposite, creative writers and corporate leaders, like you would think. But actually, what hit me this morning, I was driving. Also, driving is a great way for me to access my creativity and curiosity because I'm kind of zoned out. I was driving back from dropping my dog at daycare, which is like a drive I make all the time. So my brain can just kind of be in creative mode. And I had this like aha where I was like, actually, so much of what I talk to with my corporate clients is also creativity. Questions like, how can I be more visible in my workplace? How can I tap into my confidence? How can I manage my team better? Those are all actually creative questions because the solutions require creative thought.
Yes.
And so I just realized, I was like, we're actually like, all of us pretty creative all the time, but we don't, it's fewer of us who claim the identity of creative.
Right.
And I think that's it made me feel really sad when I realized that.
No, and then I'm just thinking about, if we're like navigating a very scary world climate right now.
Yes.
And I feel like that also requires a lot of creativity. And I think like those questions of like, how do you become more visible? I'd like have that question of like, how do I like feel confident and visible and showing and allowing myself to be witnessed by my community and the ideas that I have that are about bringing us together and like creating a future that we want to see, like where we do feel accepted, where we are like, able to be authentic and have autonomy. And so I definitely like those questions are questions that I do have to ask myself. And I feel like that is sometimes where my creativity is very much like blocked, I suppose, where I'm like, okay, like I need to think more with more nuance.
Right. I will say that's one of my big struggles too, which is I think one of the reasons why I love talking to other people who are these visionaries and reading their books. Like just a quick shout out because it was so good. I just finished Naomi Alderman's book called The Future. Naomi also wrote The Power, which was turned into a series, I think on Prime, where basically females got this electric power that suddenly switched the hierarchy where we're
Okay.
now on top, unquote, on top, on the hierarchy with sheer physical force, because they could literally electrocute and kill anyone they want to. So it's a fascinating thought experiment. Highly recommend reading the book. The show was great too. But I just finished her most recent book, which was called The Power. And I read it and I was like, oh, thank you, Naomi Alderman, for because what she does, and I'm not going to spoil it because it's so good to read, but she does exactly what we're talking about, which is she takes where we are now. And I would love to interview her, because my question would be, did you just write the future that you really want for yourself? And my imagination is that she would be like, absolutely. And she basically creates, in a really interesting way, through beautiful narratives and storytelling, the kind of future that is freaking possible right now, even with the billionaires. So there's some things need to happen to the billionaires that are very satisfying in the book. And how we can actually use technology in all these fascinating ways to create the world where we can all thrive, the nature can thrive, we kind of heal the earth, so many good things. And I was just like, oh, and I just felt it was so good reading that, because I thought, I'm creative in certain ways. I'm less of a big visionary in those specific ways, but I so love hearing other people's visions, and then kind of using it almost as a place for me to bounce off of and grow my own vision. But I have a hard time thinking of it originally. So I think that's where artists and writers and poets, I think this is where they really help the rest of us. Anyway, so good. It is like the nuanced thought, I think, that I certainly need.
Yeah. No, because I definitely think in thinking about the future, there's a lot of caveats. There's so many caveats that we have to think about too. And just that it's okay. I think this is also a part of the larger creative process too, of just understanding that something I've realized is that I don't need to have it all figured out in the beginning. I can just start something, and then it can evolve with time. And as, other people get involved, because other people have different perspectives, they'll have different needs, they'll have different wants, they'll have different visions. And so it's okay, how can we bring those in to create something even better? So
I want to ask Erica, because what I might call what you just described is being unattached to outcome and having almost the patience and presence to let it evolve. That is so hard to do. How did you develop that? That's something that I'm always struggling with as a person who really loves an endpoint to work towards. And how did you develop that ability?
I think with the creation of Cosmic Healing, it really pushed that, especially as it was not just something I was doing, but something I was doing with my sister. And we have very different kind of visions or we have different processes. And so the way I'll go about something, or finishing a project, or starting the creative process of a program, or even making a page of our website, I have to start with a blank page. My sister, who's actually a Virgo moon, and has a lot of other mutable placements, she really enjoys working with something that is already kind of in process, and adapting and editing and I'm no, I have to start from the beginning.
Oh my God, that is so different. I'm more like your sister. I'm I need give me an image, give me a word. The blank page is terrifying to me. I love that you love what is it about the blankness that
I think it's because it can be hard to be okay, well, this sentence is already this sentence. I need to create something new, not because I don't like the sentence, but just that this other thought that I have feels it's different. So I need, and it's the newness. And I think that also it's combined a bit with ADHD of it needs to be it has to be new.
It's it gives you enough space to just take
exactly.
what's inside and put it on the outside. Whereas if there's something there, it's almost like
It's
a
already
pre-boundary or something that doesn't feel good.
Yes.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that language. Yeah, because it can just be like, okay, well, this page is already crowded. Like, where can I even like fit in because it's already there. Like, so
Oh,
yeah.
oh, I get the
Yeah.
joy of that. I am terrified of that, and I get the joy of it. I should probably try that a
Mhm.
little more. Very cool. Is that when you find, so if we talk about, also, I'm fascinated by the fact that you work with your sister. I could never work with my sister. So I'm fascinated by that, and I want to circle back to that. But I want to talk about, I think it's so interesting that because of that co-creation element to the work that both of you do, you get really up close and personal with someone else's process, and the fact that it is a different process.
Mhm.
What has that helped you learn about your own creative process?
Yeah, I think it has. I think when I was talking about introducing myself and how it's like, oh, it's like continually evolving, I think um a part of that is also the fact that like I am constantly in tandem with somebody and I have to realize like, oh wait, like I am different from you in this way, or we are really aligned, or like we are very similar in this other way. And like that is just like interesting and kind of, I think it has allowed me to become more confident in my process because it's like we've also gone this far. Like we've been doing cosmic healing. We're going on 5 years now.
Okay.
And so it's like, okay, like we're in this and like we've been able to do this. And even though we are different in our processes in these ways, it's also created something very beautiful. But yeah, I think, a part of the things I've learned are like the blank page aspect. A part of it is, yeah, I think knowing that it's given me patience, I think, because of those differences. It's just like being able to, or having to be like, okay, wait, like, how do you see this playing out? Or like, what would you do? And how that compares to how I would go about it, and seeing how we then can like bring both of ourselves and our processes together to create what we want. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
That makes so much sense. One of the things that I've realized working for years and years now with people who are in the middle of creative endeavors, like writers, like different artists, whatever it is, whoever I'm working with, is that I feel, not to like totally minimize it, but I feel like there are kind of three key things. One of them being structure, but structure like held loosely.
Yeah.
Community, like having that other person. And why I'm totally blanking on the third. How ridiculous is that? Yeah. Oh, accountability. Some kind of like
Okay. Yes.
and again, accountability held, all of these held very loosely, not like I must write 2,000 words by Wednesday. For some people that works. For other people, that is like yeah, your face is like,
Yeah.
no. That is like a shut me down. Whereas I have some clients that are like, perfect. Put me in, coach. Tell me what to do. So yeah, and I think we get to define what we mean by that. So you and your sister have this beautiful structure of cosmic healing that you've created. You have a community because you're working with each other and co-creating, but also the other people that are part of what you've created. And then I imagine like loosely held accountability is like dreams that you're holding for what you might want to do next, or actual literal deadlines for like, oh, I'm talking to a client, I'm doing an astro reading, like, in 3 hours, so I hear a lot of those kind of three things as well in this creative endeavor that is also an income generator for you.
Yes.
Which is pretty great.
It is. It is, because I think so. We started back in 2021, and
good timing,
right?
Was it because had you already planned to do it, or was this like oh gosh, COVID?
No,
what do we do?
Yeah, we were at our mother's home in Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
And I had just graduated. And Kay had been living in Germany and was like moved back home because of the pandemic. And so we were like, what are we going to do? I think both of us, I was kind of sitting in a place of, what is the word? Like, so I graduated with my bachelor's in social work. And while I learned a lot through it, I also learned how complicit social workers can be in terms of the carceral state. And so I was like, I don't want to do this formally. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And Kay was like, well, I really want to actually start giving readings, because she'd been into astrology and like learning deeply for several years. And she was like, well, this is our time. Like, let's see what we can do, and bringing folks together. And yeah, so that's kind of where it began. I was kind of more on the back end of like, I'll get this website up, I'll get these graphics together, so I was kind of, in that creative space there in that way at the beginning. And now I'm kind of thinking back to your question of like learning more about my creativity. And I feel like also thinking about our separate passions, and how like what I really love about cosmic healing is that we are like, we wanted to encompass who we are as well. And so like, I'm about to start this, this group of offerings called Cooking for Fulla Joy. And so there's like going to be peer support in terms of like navigating how people feel about food, the kitchen, cooking, as well as like the more practical support of like, let me be on Zoom with you while you do this recipe. And like, I will give you these tips and tricks. Like, I will tell you how that might not be the best way to cut that onion.
I love it.
And what would maybe be a more effective way, as well as like hoping people turning away from like AI, and like, I will think of meals. I will create your grocery list. We can work together. You can work with a human being. So, and how that like cosmic healing allows for that passion of mine to come through, and still work with the goals of our values of like integrity and liberation, because it's like those meals I'm planning are not going to be within diets. Like no intentional weight loss over here. And it's like, let's work with your body. Like, what does your body like? What does your body not like? What makes you feel better? Or what makes you like enjoy food? Like, let's eat something that tastes good. Yes. And I just have it's been a lot of support from my sister, from the people who are involved with cosmic healing. Like, every time I bring it up, people are like, wow, that's going to be so amazing. And then they like bring a little tidbit of like, oh, and it could like look like this, or this, it could help people with this. And I'm like, you're right. Like, wait, let me go back. Like, let me type up a couple more words.
Again, that community piece, like other people really kind of wanting to invest emotionally with their their own ideas, like, and support in what you're creating. That's like the best feeling.
No, truly. And I think it took me a long time to recognize that, because I was just I would be scared. Like, I would be like, is this really a good idea? Or like, what if it brings like, what if they're not actually, what if this is fake? Like, I don't know. But I think, it's really started to settle in me within the last couple of years of like, no, like, people would also tell me like, oh, like I think we've built a culture within our community of like, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to have feedback. It's okay to like not always agree. And so, it's just been really good. And it's like, we can build something together. So
my coaching ears want to say, and I hope it's okay, tell me if it's not,
no, it's all good.
I feel like what I just heard you describe was you learning to trust your own creativity and the way it wants to live on the outside.
Hmm. Yes. And it
Mm.
is, I would concur.
Yeah, that's such a like that evolution. You've described a lot of evolutions, even just in this conversation. And I think that's part of the beautiful part. And maybe that's why we kind of get hooked on creativity is that there are all these wonderful mm, not changes isn't the right word, like transitions that we go through. Even like that earlier question I had, like, how do we learn to actually truly be unattached to outcome? Well, we start
Mhm.
very attached and then we try to like detach from one specific piece. And then that leads to
Mhm.
the next time where we now disconnect from two pieces and trust
Mhm.
more in the goodness of strangers or the type of feedback we might get. And then the third time. And it's like this iterative process that can be very addicting in the best ways. And we want to come
Yeah.
back to it because it feels, for me, it feels so alive, like the
Mhm.
aliveness of being in creative thought and creative process and creative collaboration. Um,
Yes.
it also challenges us in very
Mhm.
big ways. So I'm really curious when you think about the work that you've created and the businesses, because we are talking about you are an entrepreneur. I don't know if you use that word, but you
Yeah.
are, like you've created multiple business lines that you offer that generate income for you in our overly capitalist world. Um, what are some of the challenges of being in that creative process, of being in collaboration, of being, you know, um, in creation mode a lot of the time? What are the things you find really
Yeah.
hard?
I think the fact that it sometimes feels required because so
Yeah.
it's I mean, part of the reason we are pet sitting and house sitting through this journey is because it's not always generating enough income to be able to um provide housing for us or and
Mhm.
so it is something where it's like, okay, how can like what is it that like we want to do and also would be something that folks also find value in. And I think that can kind of like that line of like or that balance because I know I am a very um I'm my passions have been reignited over like the last again, like I don't know. Well, I kind of know some of the things that have been at play in the sky that have allowed this to happen. But like the
Yeah.
last couple of years, there have been a lot of, yeah, as you've noted, evolutions and changes. And so one of the things I've really appreciated is like feeling a passion and passionate again,
Yeah.
and realizing how important that is to me in my creativity and in like maintaining and sustaining this business. And
Mhm.
so yeah, that can kind of be a challenge when things aren't aligned with my passions all the time. And like, or I have to
Mhm.
do those back end things of like, I
Uh,
have this idea that I love, but now that also requires like writing the copy, writing the language on the website of like, but it's
yeah.
like, no, I could just talk about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. Or even like I've just been finishing doing this for Creation Lab, which is like not my zone of genius, but setting up all the back end tech stack software. I'm
mm,
like, I don't
yeah.
care about the shopping cart or the payment processor or like all of these like back end operational details like are not
Mhm.
my zone.
Yeah.
But then I'm just like, then I just get really grumpy and I'm like,
Mhm.
and I'm like typing away. And my husband's like, you done yet? I'm like, no, leave me
No, and I
alone. I
wish I
like,
was.
oh, like the parts, yeah, the parts that it's hard when you have so much creative joy in your life to then have to like do the less joyful parts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, truly. The
Yeah.
logistics, they always get me.
Logistics. Oh my gosh. Right.
Oh, but
Hmm.
sometimes I will admit, sometimes it's like it'll be nice in those like those ebbs where I'm like, okay, I'll just do this. Like,
Yeah.
it's whatever. And then it's done. And
Right.
I accomplished something. Yes.
Yeah, it's true. I got to put a check. As my Virgo, I'm like, did a check mark on the to-do list. It made me feel very satisfied. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Hey, Sophia here, interrupting myself so that I can pop in with a little invitation. I've had so many coaching clients tell me about ideas they want to bring into the world, but they don't because they're nervous or they're not sure what the next steps are, or imposter syndrome and self-doubt show up and stop them. So if you've had a fat positive idea tugging at your sleeve, maybe a podcast, a workshop, a piece of art, a community project, a zine, and you keep thinking, oh, maybe I could, maybe I should, then I think Fat Joy Creation Lab might be for you. It's a 6-month creative incubator where you're going to build your project alongside a small group of big-hearted, justice-oriented change makers just like you. You'll get coaching, community, accountability, and a wildly supportive space to turn that tiny spark into something real. We start this March, and I would love to create with you. So please come take a peek at fatjoy.life/creation lab, and let's bring your vision to life together. Okay, back to me and my guest now. Enjoy. How do you think your various identities that you hold play into the work that you've chosen to do in the world?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, I am a Black, fat, queer, a non-binary person, and it is really the ways that showed up early on in my life and the ways that I was perceived or the roles that I was put in or the messages that I got, I think have really made me into someone who wants to like break those all down and like put them in the trash. And that has been a big part of like the work that I do today of like, I have done a few astrological based like fat liberation programs where like having a group of fat folks and we're talking about how what it means to be in our bodies. How do we break free from like fat phobic messaging and expand and luxuriate in the bodies that we have and like what that means, or like how do we take care of our bodies? That was our cancer season like theme of just like caring and like providing like a nurturing touch and like kind of like healing past traumas. And so that's definitely been a big part of what I do, because I think as a peer supporter, I really I want to work from lived experience. And that's how I best connect with folks. And so, I mean, my identities play a huge role in that. And so, a lot of the work I do is from lived experience, the thoughts and analysis that I've done from that, or, so big part in the things that I've created. In terms of like, because I'm also thinking about it in the way of like, I feel like in terms of like another way of looking into the creativity and how my my selfhood kind of plays a role into that is like, I just love drawing my body. Like I love drawing fat bodies too. And it's just like, it's just so much more fun. I don't know.
Yes. Oh yeah.
No, I just think I mean, it's not a smaller scale, but just in a different line of creativity, I suppose. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Do you find people choose to work with you because they resonate with one or several of your identities?
Oh, yes, for sure. And I think also like the values that I hold, and just, I think people kind of see kind of in a good way, and then also sometimes in a not great way in terms of like when people do not hold the same identities as me and they kind of see me as more of that like, oh, like you are a caretaker, because those are the kinds of messages as like a flat back person,
Yeah.
and who is more feminine presenting, to be like, oh, you're a caretaker. And it's like, yes and no. Yes and no, and not to everybody.
Right. Oh, I love that. And not to everybody.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So yes.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think even from an astrology point of view, like I have a Cancer Venus, and I think that often it like comes through, like people do, like they see that I can be a very nurturing person. And
Mhm.
that is the case, but again, not to everyone.
Not to everybody. I feel like that addendum, not to everybody, has been earned over time. Like you have figured out that line. And so, as I think so many of us do, where it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, no to that. And it's like that
Mhm.
empowered no and how to use it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And I
Hmm.
think when I was referencing at the beginning too of like things that like characteristics that have been placed onto me, I think that's kind of one of them, that like, oh, you're so caring. It's like I
Yeah.
am. But I think before, when I was younger, I was caring to everyone, no
Yeah.
matter what. And
Yeah.
now I'm realizing like that not everyone
Mhm.
deserves my care.
Right. I
Yeah.
so relate. My version of this that took me probably 20 years of therapy to realize was my over responsibility. Eldest of
Yes.
three, that like
Okay.
I had this, and I remember my therapist, I was telling her about something that happened to me when I was in my teenage years. And she goes, have you ever thought that maybe that was not your responsibility to do the thing you were asked to do? And I was like, no, wait, what? Like I had never
Hold up.
questioned.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, oh my God, I think we were like 10 minutes in. I'm like, I think I'm done for the day because I don't think my brain can like,
No, for real.
what? Like, I didn't have to, like, that responsibility shouldn't have been. What? Like, it was just one of those moments where, and I feel like, at least for myself, I would say as a fat person, again, there
Hmm.
are these messages, these assumptions about who I am in the world. I
Yeah.
think over responsible definitely had to do with being the eldest,
Yeah.
as well as some of the stuff around my body. But it's such a, God, these are hard things to untangle.
They are.
And then we go and we're like, create businesses that are almost like from us, of us. And
Hmm.
also, here's some of my tangle that I've worked a little bit through. Because, like
Yeah.
you said, you like to work and support people from a place of lived experience. Well, that comes with
Mhm.
still the tangle,
Yes,
you
it
know.
does. It does. And then yeah. And I think that's what I love so much about like peer support and like navigating a way or providing a different kind of form of like therapy, in the way of like we are like in this together, and like I will share a bit about who I am and what has informed how I'm responding and stuff like that, and like knowing that it's not like I have all the answers, or like I know
Yeah.
exactly what's going on here, or
Yeah.
listen to me because, I was like, I did X and Y, Z studies.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, okay, well, you're bringing up things that I also need to work through.
You're right.
We can work through it together, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I love those moments because it feels like you almost become like thought partners a little bit,
Hmm.
like, oh, my version of that is this. What's your version? And you kind
Yeah.
of like collude in a good way,
Yes. Yes.
right? Yeah, it can be really beautiful. And I think that is one of the reasons why I love affinity spaces so much. It's like
Hmm.
I'll never forget this moment where I created a I created a Fat Joy writing workshop that I offered through the writing studio. And we did it a couple times, a couple of iterations. And I remember one of the very first, maybe it was like the second class, where everyone had just like written a bit of like done a free write, written in the moment. And then on it from like a specific prompt or image, I forget exactly. But there was this
Hmm.
moment where all seven people like were going around sharing their pieces, and they were all completely different, as they would be, but man, the threads that wove through each piece, we were
Oh,
all crying and we're all like, Oh, yes. Yeah. There was
Yeah.
like this moment of complete relatability and
Yeah.
universality amongst this little constellation of people
Yes.
who had very shared experiences and their own versions of it. But there was something so like, bonding and connecting
Yeah.
about that moment of feeling like you really see the other person, and how could they not also see you, because the reciprocity of experience was there. Like it was just
Oh,
like, oh my God.
that sounds so sweet.
Oh, it's
That sounds
incredible. Yeah.
amazing. And that's what I love. I think, honestly, specifically about fat affinity spaces, like they hit different. Out of all of the various affinity spaces I can be a part of.
Yeah.
I think because there is still so much, like, I feel like, at least in my experience, it has only been recently that I've been able to find them, and see them be available, I guess. And so, like, going through college, I was a part of like the Black Student Union. I was a part of the Cutie Pluck Club. But like there wasn't, like a space for fat folks on campus or something. And like that there is still, this block from meeting, and being joyful together, and just like being like accepting ourselves, and doing that together. Yeah. And so I think part of that, like those past limitations, I think make it so that like when we do come together, it's just like, no, like let's do this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty amazing. I feel so grateful that I get to experience that.
Yeah.
But part of it is I created it because I needed it.
Right. Yeah.
I was like,
Exactly.
I have no fat friends. I had this moment, if like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, I was like, I have no fat people in my life. And yet here I am speaking on the internet like I'm a fat, activist. I'm like, but I don't know any other fat people. Like it was such a weird thing. And I'm like, okay, what? And I was like, okay, I need to like, and I intentionally like reached out to people and created circles and was just like, I feel like I don't want to feel this alone. And I also really wanted, and this has been a newer development because I think it's a little bit harder, at least for me for some reason, but finding people to be fat in real life with, like fat people to hang out with, to go out to restaurants with. This past summer, I had a couple of fat friends where we did this thing. It's called Swimply. It's basically like Airbnb, but for swimming pools in people's homes. Ooh, so we would rent pools together because we didn't have swimming pools in our backyards. I live in an apartment building. And we would rent swimming pools, and I would like go, we'd bring like a little like picnic-y thing and like hang out with other fat people in bathing suits. And I'm like, and that in itself, that was so nourishing, like all summer to be able to do. So I'm just like, how do we get more fat people together?
No, truly.
Right.
And that's, I think, I've had a similar journey.
Yeah.
Because I think, there are messages being like, you're already too much. So why would you try to spend time with and like be in real life with other fat people when it's like you're already. And it's like, no. Let's tear that down.
True. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a true story. I know this is an example from a specific corporate organization, but I know it's happened at many, where the head of HR sent like a memo around. It was like under the health and wellness in quotes initiative at this big corporate organization that everyone would recognize the name of, saying that studies show that if you eat meals, i.e. like lunch, which is what everyone's eating together in the cafeteria, if you eat with other fat people, you are more likely to get fat yourself. That was sent out.
What?
Like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. And so the person who told me this was in tears, and she was like, so I've never gone to my cafeteria again, and I eat at my desk or in the bathroom. And I'm like, The violence of that is astonishing.
Truly.
Yeah.
Truly. And the idea that like someone, the head of HR can just be like, okay, I'm just going to send this out.
Right?
It's like, what?
With no deeper awareness or thoughtfulness. I know. Horrifying. Which is why we are changing the world, Erica.
Yes, exactly.
So could you tell us, I would love for people to know, like, between cosmic healing and cooking Fulla Joy, what are the actual things that you offer? Because I would love for people to find you, that you and your sister do. Yeah, because there's a whole range of things. I've like perused your website.
Right,
I'm like, oh, sign me up, sign me up, sign me up.
So when it comes to, that's the thing with cooking Fulla Joy. It's like technically still connected to cosmic healing, because I'm like, well, I don't necessarily want to be like separate from it, but when it comes to cooking Fulla Joy, there are the 4 offerings of cooking Fulla Joy peer combos, and so those are more of the conversational peer support, where people are kind of like, the whole hope from it is to build confidence, build comfort, and build like security when it comes to food, cooking, the kitchen. And then there are the kitchen coaching sessions where, I'll be online alongside people from like the moment they step into the kitchen until they are ready to sit down and eat. And we'll be navigating like a recipe together. And then there is the curated meal plans where, I'll provide like a couple like new recipes to try out, and also like ideas of what someone could eat throughout the week, so that's like you don't have to think about it so much, and you can just be like, let me spend this mental energy on actually cooking rather than thinking about what to cook.
Because that's where I always stop. I get overwhelmed.
Exactly.
Like, forget it. Frozen pizza. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's so fine, because that's like, it is. There's so much of a mental load of like, okay, what do we do? What do we have? And then it's like, at that point, I don't even want to cook anymore.
I give up.
And then grocery list creation. And so based off the recipes or based off of like and so everything, if you're going to do anything with them, like we have to start with a combo. We have to start with a cooking Fulla Joy combo to kind of get an idea of like, what do you like to eat? What is kind of like your cooking skill level to like understand like where to put you on like the different recipes and stuff like that.
I want to hold here for 1 second, because I think this is so interesting, because what you're offering, and I'm going to say something that sounds mean, but I'm going to then clarify.
Okay.
Okay. On the one hand, what you've just described is not, I don't even want to say what I'm about to say, but I'm going to form, it's not like quote unquote super original, but here's why it is original. Here's why it is original. Because I know, and this is what I want to hear you talk about more, that everything you've just described is actually rooted in liberatory practice, in honor. I imagine, I'm making this up, but you tell me it's right, honoring our cultural heritages around food, food as pleasure and joy and like anti-diet culture, anything. So it's like, to me, what's so incredible about you doing this is that you're doing it from this like rich, like, I don't know, foundation or fertilizer of like food as it's supposed to be, like pre-diet culture. And it's so hard for us even to imagine what that could be like.
Yeah. No, exactly, Sophia. It's like, it's from my values of integrity, of liberation, of community, of joy, of rest, because when it comes to the conversation that's coming from like, okay, how does your body feel? Like, let's get body centered. Let's understand what it is, not that you think you should enjoy, or not that you have to force yourself to eat, or what you are being told is healthy for you, but more of like, what is actually something that you enjoy eating, something that you find fun to cook, something that you find is like life-giving rather than like life-sustaining, you know?
Yes. Yeah, it's like you're a cooking liberation coach. Like it's
Yes.
like, and that to me, I've never heard of that before. I've heard of new people doing like nutrition stuff rooted in, fat liberation, but actual cooking, like this is what makes me so excited about this offering is like, that is truly original. Like I've definitely not seen anything like that. And I imagine like, in your conversations with people, I could imagine that the diet culture conditioning would like slip in. And then what a beautiful opportunity, especially if people have said, I imagine with consent and permission, like, yeah, like highlight, like if I was working with you, I'd be like, okay, I really want to divest from diet culture and I'm sure it's going to sneak in. So when I do unconsciously say something diet culture, I would love for you to tell me about it. And then what a beautiful way to deprogram me as a client, because that's what I want more than anything is to be diet culture free, right? And like you get to help them do that. Oh, I love it, Erica.
Thank you.
It's so good. We need this. It's so unconscious and baked into us from birth.
Truly. Yeah. And it's like, it takes a long time. And that's why I was like, I need to have these conversations with people alongside. Like, I can't just do the like, okay, we're cooking together, because there is so much beyond that. And it's like just as much mental as it is bodily, as it is emotionally, as it is spiritual, and it's like, it has to be that holistic. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I love that. I've talked to a liberatory money coach before, and it was very similar where I have not, I'm still doing this work. I feel like I've done quite a bit of diet culture work at this point, but I still have not done, I want to keep doing, I was going to say enough. What is enough? Who knows? But like, I want to continue doing money, like divesting from capitalistic money beliefs. And I've worked with a liberatory money coach before. And that was so interesting because it challenged all these unconscious thoughts, behaviors, beliefs, like body responses that I didn't even know I had. And I feel like you're doing a version of that with cooking and food enjoyment and pleasure in a way that is just so helpful for people. Thank you.
I'm very excited for that.
Also, to put on the list, I would love to talk about that liberatory
money stuff. Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, I learned that I'm apparently, she did some like body work testing with me, and I was like, apparently I'm very comfortable making up to $999,999. But I can't make $1 million for some reason. And I was like, wow, okay. I'm like interested. It was just these weird little like beliefs that I had around. Yeah. Anyway, so I just find all this so fascinating.
Yes.
Tell us about what you and your sister do with cosmic healing.
Yes. So with cosmic healing, more specifically, it's a whole range of things again. But the mission is for personal, holistic healing, and how that then allows us to show up within community and create more for collective liberation. And so the holistic healing is like the mental, the physical, the spiritual healing that we can do. And the physical healing, not even so being more kind of connected to that spiritual and emotional healing. So yes, Kay gives astrology readings on a more one-to-one scale, or even does astrology readings with multiple people for like, why am I blanking on the word?
Almost like birthdays or like fun things like that?
More so like with couples or friends.
I was going to say my best friend. I could totally imagine doing a combined reading. Yeah.
Yes. And seeing how there's literally a specific word, and I cannot remember it, but relational chart readings, essentially.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
And composite charts. They're composite charts.
Composite chart. Oh, I did not know that word. That's very cool.
Yes. It's basically like you superimpose the charts together and kind of see how that aligns. Yeah. And we both put on like multi-week programs. So we just had this series called the Black Fugitivity series. And it was a whole, Kay was the primary organizer of that, and it was like 15 events. We had a core mini series within called the Interlocking Systems of Liberation. And I think honestly, during the last session, we had this little it was kind of like speed dating, but we were like telling each other our ideas of like what we want to see and different like liberatory practices or programs or like any kind of idea that we want to like see in the world. And it was just so beautiful because yeah, we like met up with like 3 different people, and it was just like, again, it allowed that creative process to like evolve and grow. And so yeah, we do multi-week series programs, like I was telling you, with like caring for the fat body was one of them that I put on. And then yeah, I do practical peer support with folks, and that's not necessarily cooking related, but it can be. I highlight the practicality part of it because my Taurus son is really like, I have an idea for you.
Love it.
So that can look more of like creating a life routine that feels, again, like body-centered, life-giving, that works with your body and mind rather than against it, as well as like something from like, okay, how can I show up more authentically in my relationships? Or can we talk about relationships in general? Because like the messaging and stuff we get around that as well can just be very, very small and siloed. So, in relationships, it's also a broad sense of the word. Yeah, and we're like in this new year, we're getting into expanding once again, in terms of like providing like mediation, but me more so on like the personal level, okay, more so on like a range of levels, facilitation, also why am I forgetting? But yeah, so there's just like people should keep up with our website because it is going to go through a change into kind of exploring all the different things that we are doing through cosmic healing. But
it's so exciting.
I do co-working.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So people who have been involved in some way or just like signed up for our email list, they can join bi-weekly, as in 2 times a week, co-working.
I
and
love
just kind of like meet each other and just, body doubling. So
it's an amazing thing. I don't think everyone, unless you do it, you're kind of like, why would I like be on Zoom with another person? I'm like, no, let me tell you, there's an energy flow that happens. And it's like, it's really incredible to be.
Yes.
Yeah, I do that in lots of different in all the different verticals that I work in. And God, it's so good. I love that you do that as well for people to work on whatever they want to work on. Yeah. Amazing. Erica, you are so fascinating. You were doing so much good work in the world. And I feel really honored that I got to hear about it and that everyone listening to this is going to get to hear about the work that you're doing, the work that you and your sister are doing together. And it's just, when on the darkest days, the darkest nights of my soul with what is happening in this world, I always come back to, and there are people like Erica who are working to follow their values, to follow the path of liberation, and are like, fuck this, I will be a source of light in this world, and we're doing it. And like, I think that is my main source of hope these days, and some beautiful poetry, but like that is what carries me through.
Poetry.
Yeah.
I was just reminded of a poem from June Jordan called like, I need to be like a menace to my enemies. I need to look.
Oh my God, I love it.
And I feel like that is,
oh my God, I love it. I love it.
I want to say it right, to honor June Jordan.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to look that up because you know what I realized? when I did the Fat Joy podcast itself, the 100 episodes, at the end of every episode, I would read a poem. I started recording, and that was a year and a half of pause, and I recorded my first Creation Lab capsule episode with Mary Lambert, the singer-songwriter, who's amazing.
Wow.
We had a beautiful conversation, and then we ended, and then I recorded another episode, and then about a week after that, I think my partner said to me, "Oh, did you choose a good poem?" And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Well, didn't you used to do poems?" I'm like, "Oh, I did used to," and I totally forgot. So, and people would write to me about how they love the poems that are at the end of episodes. So I did not do it for this little capsule collection, which I think will be 5 or 6 episodes. And I was like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a separate poetry episode to close the capsule. So I'm going to look up that June Jordan poem, and maybe that'll make it in. So I'm going to do like 3 or 4 and talk about them, because I was like, I can't forget poetry.
No. I'm so glad. Okay, so yes. The title is I Must Become a Menace to My Enemies.
Yes. I'm writing that to my enemies. Thank you for that. I will look that up. And do you know the poem Pluto Shits on the Universe?
No.
Okay, look that one up. Fat Joy listeners have heard me read. I think I've read it. It's amazing. And my perimenopause brain is blanking on the author. Oh my God. Pluto Shits on the Universe. You can't miss it.
Okay.
And you can see the author reading it in like a slam poetry contest, and it's phenomenal.
Okay.
And again, planets and stuff, I think you would really love it. Okay. Erica, thank you so much. In the show notes, I will share all the information where people can reach you, your various websites and social links. This has been really wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for chatting with me.
Thank you for having me. It's been so nice to learn more about you and all that you do as well, and just have loved this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy Guatemala. Or Ecuador. Hang on, where are you? Ecuador. Maybe you're going to Guatemala next. Who could say?
Who knows?
It's around the corner, I'm sure.
The world's my oyster.
Right? Okay. Bye. Hi again. Feeling inspired? Oh, I hope so. Before you go, I invite you to pause for a moment. Take a breath and imagine. What is the project you've been dreaming of? What do you wish already existed in the world? That little spark, that idea is exactly what the world needs from you. For 6 months, the Fat Joy Creation Lab gives you the tools, the support, and the people you need to turn your fat positive vision into reality. We start this March, and it would be such an honor to create with you. So if it feels good, take a breath, lean into your imagination, and head over to fatjoy.life/creation lab and see how your idea can become real. Oh, let's dream, build, and create the fat futures we deserve, and let's do it together.